Lecha Dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabla Lecha Dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabla Shama v'zachar b'dibur echad Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Ushmo echad Shemel Siveres Velisila Lecha Dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabla Lecha Dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabla Likra Shabbos lechu v'nelcha ki himekar habracha Merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila Lecha Dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabla Hamikdash melech melucha komi tzi mitoch hafecha Rav loch sheves b'yemek habacha v'yachmal alayichem la Lecha Dodi likras kala Pnei Shabbos nekabla. Okay, so my friends, let me share a story with you. I've said this before, and I have a good feeling that I'll be saying it again. I am deeply concerned about the attitude that we will have during the upcoming high holidays with the health precautions that we must take. And I think that in these days before Rosh Hashanah, the month of Elul, I think that we need to strengthen ourselves to approach this season with a Torah perspective. So permit me to share with you a wonderful story that I heard from Rabbi Biederman. I find this story inspiring and helpful, and hopefully it will inspire and help you as well. A number of years ago, there was a young man whose parents passed away. So he was an orphan, and he felt broken and disheartened. He was in Israel, and so he went to visit Rabbi Menachem Shach. At that time, Rabbi Shach was one of the greatest scholars and Torah leaders in the world. He was living in Bnei Brak in Israel, near Tel Aviv. And he went to Rabbi Shach to receive some words of inspiration for his situation his circumstances in life. Rabbi Shach said to him, I was also an orphan at a young age. Now this was in Vilna, in Poland, where Rabbi Shach was from. And he said, when it was time for me to find a shidduch, a match for the purposes of marriage, so the custom then in that place was an outstanding Torah scholar. Rabbi Shach was an outstanding young scholar. So an outstanding scholar like that was a desirable catch and could expect to meet a young woman and to make a shidduch, a match, from a family that would provide an apartment for the new couple to live in. But since Rabbi Shach was an orphan, he had no parents to negotiate such matters, because that's the way it was arranged. The two sets of parents would meet and they would discuss, they would negotiate. But Rabbi Shach did not have any parents to go to speak on his behalf. So he got engaged to a wonderful young woman, but nobody asked, and her family did not provide an apartment, did not provide anything in terms of financial support, which was totally out of the norm for that time and place for such a match. Okay. When his friends heard about this, they were aghast. Such an outstanding, young, promising scholar? How are you going to support yourselves? How are you going to make it? They were so surprised and shocked and upset that they tried to convince Rabbi Shach, he should call off the engagement. It doesn't seem appropriate. Rabbi Shach refused to do that. And he said to them, you know what? God is in charge. God's going to take care of it. So they got married. They lived in Vilna. They did not own an apartment, so they rented a tiny apartment. And then the Nazis came to power. And when the Nazis came to power, the Jews in Vilna, and I'm sure all over, there were all sorts of rumors. What's going to happen? Are they going to come to Vilna? Are they not going to come to Vilna? If they come to Vilna, what's going to happen? Everyone was buzzing. Everyone was talking about what's going to be with the Nazis. And here's what happened. All of those people that did not own their own homes, they were very quick to make arrangements to escape, because they had little to lose leaving Vilna. So they left. But those people who owned homes in Vilna, well, their entire financial life was tied up in Vilna, and they were not so quick to run away. And as it happened, the Nazis attacked Vilna suddenly, and they were all killed. So Rabbi Shach said this to the young man who came to see him. He said, what actually happened was that all those who owned homes perished. Those who did not own homes were saved, including Rabbi Shach. Did not own a home, was renting. He and his wife left right away. And they got to Israel just in time. And he spent the rest of his life flourishing in Israel. Why was he saved, he said? I was saved because I didn't own a home. And then Rabbi Shach continued. He said as follows. If you would ask somebody, is owning a home a good thing? Of course. Owning a home is a very good thing. Is not owning a home not a good thing? Of course. Not owning a home is very, very much not good. And Rabbi Shach continued and he said, if you would ask me, with my experience, I would say the same thing. To own a home is a good thing, and not to own a home is not a good thing. That's what I would say. But ultimately, what happened? Not owning a home was a good thing. Owning a home was not such a good thing. Not owning a home saved my life. So Rav Shach said to this man, we do not understand God's plan. Even in retrospect, we often don't see it. But nonetheless, it is what is best for us. Not necessarily what we want. Not necessarily what we would like. But ultimately, what is best for us. Clearly, I have no insight into why this pandemic is happening to us, into why all of these changes will be necessary for the high holidays. Why is Hashem arranging it to make it so difficult for me, a synagogue rabbi, to try to plan for the high holidays? But I am certain that we can benefit from it with the right outlook, with Rabbi Shach's outlook. We can not only benefit, but we can grow, and we may find that it is the most meaningful high holidays we have ever had in our lives. I hope that for you, and I hope that for me. And the first step is the right attitude. My friends, I want to wish you a great, fantastic, spectacular Shabbos. And I look forward to seeing all of you soon in person.